What's up, guys? My name is Spartan, and this is episode 15 of the Beginner Progress series. This is a series that I started with the intention of showing you guys a brand new account starting from scratch and basically just sharing my knowledge from playing this game for coming up on about 2 years now to basically impart that knowledge onto you guys and hopefully be of value to the new players within the tower community. So all of that being said, we do have a pretty exciting episode today, and don't worry, I will cover basically the results of the poll a little bit later on in this video. With that being said, let's go ahead and check out the stats page. All right, so within the stats page, we are now on the tail end of 70 trillion lifetime earned coins. We're at 69.94 trillion. So the coin gains have definitely been improving slowly but surely, and we're definitely moving in the right direction. Likewise, our stones earned, we are getting close to 4,000 stones earned total. Obviously, most of that has been through tournaments because, as I mentioned in a few previous videos, we've been putting a major focus on tournament progression rather than just working sheerly on econ. I believe that overall, for me, being a more free-to-play focused account, I think that is going to pay off more in the long run than basically holding myself back with stone income and just focusing on lifetime coins. And in terms of our milestones, we did recently finish the tier 11 milestone. So we were able to get that completely done, and I feel very, very good about that. Likewise, we've kind of actually been farming tier 11 a tiny bit just to kind of check it out and see how it's been working. Before we continue, I want to thank today's video sponsor, which is LD Cloud. If you're serious about the tower idle tower defense, long farming sessions can really make or break your tower. And that's exactly why I try to farm 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The issue is 24/7 active gameplay can really take a toll on your mobile device and computer as well. That is where LD Cloud comes in. LD Cloud is a cloud phone service that allows you to run the game directly on your PC or mobile device without compromising your hardware or breaking the bank with your electricity bill. Both of my accounts are able to farm with ease whether I'm at home or on the go. Because the game runs in the cloud, you're not keeping your PC and phone powered on all day, which helps reduce the electricity usage and cuts down on wear and tear on your devices. I've tested other cloud phone solutions before, but LD Cloud definitely stands out with its stability, multi-instance support, and accessibility, especially for idle and grind-heavy games such as the tower. LD Cloud offers flexible spending plans starting for as low as $9.99. And if you've been on the fence about trying out LD Cloud, right now is actually the perfect time to go ahead and try it out. They currently have a lunar sales event going on right now. You can get 42% off a 60-day plan, you can get 44% off a 100-day plan, and the best value, you can get 47% off of an 180-day plan. It says you can start as low as $31.99. This, of course, only applies to the VIP, KVIP, and XVIP plans. If you want to try it out, use my link in the video description, and you can get a 6-hour trial for as little as 10 cents. It directly supports this channel and helps me improve my content. And with that, let's get back to the video. I'll kind of show you what those runs have been looking like. I don't think we're quite ready because we're just not getting the consistent waves that we were getting in tier 10. You can see tier 10 averaging basically 6,500 waves on the dot. It's been really good overall in terms of consistency, whereas tier 11, we're just not quite there. Obviously, we're going to continue working towards our goal of farming tier 11 and then eventually tier 12. And then we'll obviously start working towards like the hybrid transition, which is going from EHP to hybrid, implementing more damage stuff into our build. But I did mention last video that I thought we were pretty close, but keep in mind, this is sort of a different venture for me because we are not buying any stones or anything like that. So it's pretty difficult for me to kind of understand the actual time frame of what we're looking at. I think realistically, we're probably a good 3 or 4 months away from truly moving into hybrid. That would be my conservative guess. I know last video I was like, yeah, we're getting really close, but I don't think we're getting very close. I think we have quite a bit of time left before we would be even close to starting to work towards hybrid. But more on that later. Let's go ahead and move into the workshop. So a little bit has changed in the workshop slightly. Like we basically have still been kind of working a little bit on our EHP stats in here. I did up my defense absolute quite a bit, mostly for the sake of tournaments, just so that I can go ahead and max everything out during tournaments. And so far, that's been pretty good. I think my next big priority is going to be getting some more clicks into wall health, basically, so that I can secure that. Because right now, I'm not able to fully max this, which is why I kind of put a bit of a gamble and started working on defense absolute with the intention of maybe being able to max out wall health with free upgrades during the tournament runs. But unfortunately, that just didn't seem to pan out the way that I thought that it would, which is totally fine. And really quickly, guys, if you guys are wondering about this emulator that I'm currently playing on, this is actually Moomoo App Player. I've been using Moomoo App Player for the good part of basically 6 months to play on my actual physical computer. It's been a really good sort of emulator for me, and I'd like to thank Moomoo for basically partnering with me for this video. If you want to check out Moomoo Player, feel free to check the link in the video description. It is an affiliate link, and I greatly appreciate the support. And with that, let's move into the offensive upgrades, the attack upgrades here. A little bit has changed in here. I have been putting some big emphasis on damage. This mostly comes down to, again, tournaments, just making sure that I can max it out for my tournaments, and this has single-handedly helped me max out my death wave health. This has been a massive, massive thing for my tournament runs, getting my damage up. And we can move a little bit into the actual strategy later on. I know I've covered it during my actual live streams where I show you guys Spartan Jr.'s live stream for the tournament, but I will go through that a little bit here in this video. Then in terms of ELS, I have put a little bit into the enemy attack level skips. I just got it to 201 levels. And we still have basically nothing in enemy health level skips. Moving on to enhancements, haven't really touched much in attack enhancements. I put a little bit into damage just while it was pretty cheap, again for the sake of death wave health. In the defensive enhancements, I've really been working hard on health and health regen. The next big play is going to be trying to eventually unlock wall health, but we're not quite there, obviously. And then moving on to the utility enhancements, I've been putting quite a bit of emphasis recently on the coin bonus and the cell bonus. Both of these have been super, super beneficial, and we'll cover a little bit why I've been putting more into the cells in a little bit when we cover the labs, but you guys will see. It's been really good so far. And last but not least, let's briefly touch on the ultimate weapons. Guys, we were able to pull Chain Lightning as our 5th ultimate weapon. And I know what you guys are thinking. The luck just keeps getting better. Yes, I know, but this was our goal, right? This was our goal. We wanted to get all 4 of the econ producing ultimate weapons, and then ideally Chain Lightning. If we didn't get Chain Lightning, maybe we could have gotten a Poison Swamp or an Inner Landmines. Inner Landmines would be good too. Even a Chrono Field would be good, just so that we could get started on the Chrono Field Duration lab. Really anything other than Smart Missiles, unfortunately. Smart Missiles are not very good in the current state of the game, at least for a very, very long time. But in terms of the rest of the stuff, not a whole lot has changed. I don't think we've really put anything more into any of these, really, just overall. We did get the second Death Whip quantity semi-recently. I think the next thing I'm going to probably purchase is quantity 2 of Spotlight, mostly for the sake of my farming. It won't help me too much for tournaments, but it will help quite a bit for farming. And then after that, we're basically just going to start working on the dreaded lowering of the cooldowns. So dropping Death Wave, Golden Tower, and Black Hole. That's actually going to cover it for the workshop enhancements and ultimate weapons. Let's go ahead and dive into the cards. All right, so we are here in the cards, and I really quickly, before we talk about any of this stuff, I do want to show you guys what I was mentioning before with the actual tournament stuff. So if we go to my tournament setup, this is the strategy that I've been doing to basically make sure that I maximize my death wave health. Starting in the run, I unequip just any card, it doesn't matter. I put in the range card. And the reason that I do that is because it will basically allow my death wave ring, the ring that basically kills enemies on contact, it will allow that ring to extend past my orbs, meaning I will not be killing any enemies with projectiles, orbs, anything. It will just be from my death wave, which will translate directly to my death wave health. So that is step 1. Equip the range card, and then as soon as your death wave goes off and activates, you unequip the range card and put back in whatever else you had in there before. The second thing that I did to basically maximize the damage that I have for my death wave, because if you pay attention to the death wave damage, the ring will stay up until it deals a specific amount of tower damage. So having more tower damage and things that influence the damage your death wave does will basically help that ring stay up longer. So what I did is basically while my Death Wave ring was up, I unequipped just a few random cards, like let's do health, let's do defense, why not? And I equipped things that influence my Death Wave damage, such as critical chance and ultimate crit. Also Berserker and damage, but I already have those in there anyway. So I left both of these two cards in until my Death Wave wall basically broke, and then I unequipped them and put back in health and extra defense. That strategy allows me to basically maximize my Death Wave health during the tournament runs. But in terms of the rest of these cards, I do want to show you guys, last video, we finally maxed all of the common cards out. So we have every single common card fully maxed, which is fantastic. Like I mentioned previously, I went really hard with modules, and I wanted to sort of double back and start working on my cards to sort of bridge the gap and sort of even everything out, go back to kind of the balanced approach that we've talked about multiple times. And so with that, I would like to show all of my uncommon cards. We actually were able to max all of these out. I did that this morning. So we got all of the crucial stuff like recovery package chance for our galaxy compressor. We got critical coin just for our farming. Totally done. We also got wave skip for our farming and our tournaments. This is huge. Super important. Like all of these cards are now totally maxed, and what I'm most excited about is we finally unlocked both Ultimate Crit and Nuke, the last two cards that we did not have. Obviously, we don't have Area of Effect because we don't have the tiers unlocked to get Area of Effect, but it's fine. We'll get there someday. And now the next step for me is going to be trying to basically max out all of these epics. And it should be pretty quick overall. The main ones I would like to see get maxed are going to be things like Demon Mode, Wave Accelerator, definitely Second Wind, and probably Berserker as well. Berserker would be good to go ahead and get maxed. Those will be kind of the main priority for me, but with my luck, I'm probably going to get like Death Ray, Energy Shield, and Nuke maxed first. I don't know, we'll see. And that's going to cover it for the cards. Let's go ahead and talk about the modules. All right, guys, so pretty exciting stuff going on with the modules. We are still just working on our levels, bringing up our levels over time. It's been a grind, but we are definitely moving in the right direction. I try to check my module levels pretty much as often as I think about it, which for me kind of ends up being like every tournament that I do because I switch my modules for tournaments, and other than that, I don't really go into the module page that often. But I can't remember if I had this last episode or not, but we do now have a Mythic Plus Galaxy Compressor. This is absolutely huge. Super important. Likewise, we have the Orbital Augment at Mythic Plus, and we've been using this pretty recently just for our tournament and farming runs. I have found that for my tower specifically, my wall is now in a good enough spot where I'm actually able to outperform Sharp Fortitude with Orbital Augment. So this has been super good. Zero complaints whatsoever. And normally for tournaments, I will just equip Death Penalty instead of Astral Deliverance. Death Penalty is really good. It just gives you a chance for, enemies to instantly die. And if you guys want to see, I recently did a video covering every single module in this game, what it does, and sort of just explaining it to you guys that may be newer to the game. So feel free to check out that video if you'd like. I think I literally titled it something like All Modules Explained in the Tower or something like that. But you can go through my recent videos and find that. In terms of the rest of this stuff, we still, I believe, are only missing one Dimension Core. We have this one here. And yeah, we're literally just missing one Dimension Core. We're also missing one Sharp Fortitude to take our Sharp Fortitude up to Mythic. So I think what we're going to do is actually pull a few modules and see if we get something. All right, no such luck, but it's okay. Maybe next time, we'll see. Yeah, nothing else really to report with the modules, so we'll move on from there. Now let's go ahead and dive into the labs. So lab 1, as you guys know, we still have lab speed going. I know what you're thinking. It's going to take forever, but trust the process. It's going to be really valuable. Technically, I only have 4 labs unlocked, labs 2 through 5, because lab 1 is forever going to be dedicated to lab speed. It is what it is. But in terms of the rest of the stuff, we're starting to sort of pivot away from just working on EHP related labs and starting to work on our econ to sort of catch up. This is going to become super important for things like our enhancements, because enhancements are going to get increasingly more expensive. But I wanted, again, like I mentioned previously, to sort of expedite my tournament performance and make it as efficient as possible. which is why for the past 2 or 3 episodes of this series, I've just gone super, super hard on EHP related labs. I feel like overall my EHP labs are in a pretty good spot. We've got the base health and health regen at a very good spot. I'd like to take both of these up maybe to about 50 for the meantime. I think that'll be a good stopping point. Defense percent as well. Maybe we could put a few more levels into that. But honestly, I think 18 is perfectly good there. In terms of the wall labs, the wall regen being 160%, that is really, really good. Super good for tournaments especially. Wall thorns being 13%, just killing the enemies a little bit quicker. Then the only two that I'm really going to put some more emphasis on is I want to max out wall health. And I'd also like to get my wall fortification probably up to level 30 at an absolute minimum, but we'll get there eventually. In terms of other labs completed, we did recently finish the, Black Hole Coin Bonus lab. So that is completely gold box now. Fantastic. Spotlight Coin Bonus is on its way, and then we will move on to Death Wave after that. Then we've got Golden Tower Bonus as well going right now. I think that those are going to be very good labs to go ahead and get done. And I do think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out Spotlight Coin Bonus, and I'm actually going to put in Death Wave. So we'll go ahead and get that started. And the main thing I wanted to showcase here is we now have all of our labs on 3 times speed, which is fantastic. Honestly, I think we're getting pretty close to the point of being able to 4 times a few of these labs. But for now, I'm just kind of stockpiling cells, continuing to work on my enhancements for the cells, and just build up from there. But yeah, standard perk bonus is another lab that we're starting to put some huge priority on. This is going to be critical for getting us to tier 12 farming. The value that you get from standard perk bonus is just absolutely bar none, especially in terms of farming and milestone runs. That's actually going to cover it for the labs. Let's go ahead and talk about the tournaments. All right, so we are still in Platinum League, but we recently had an all-time best, really overall, in terms of both waves and rank. We were able to get 6 waves shy of 1,500 waves, and we finished at rank 7. So that is actually fantastic. We are very, very close to getting to Champions League. So super, super exciting stuff there. We're still just going to continue to, like I mentioned, kind of work a little bit on EHP, but start to really pivot and work more towards the econ side so that we can start to make up for some of these losses in our EHP stats by upping our enhancement levels. The enhancement levels are going to be what really start to carry us. And that's why econ is going to be super, super important. But like I mentioned previously, I wanted to have a good baseline already established in terms of my labs and everything else, so that I could get to this point, basically. And that's going to cover it for the tournaments. Let's go ahead and talk about the events. All right, so in terms of the events, we're probably going to be able to get all of these completed, if I had to guess. I think we should be able to in the next 4 days, but we'll see. The Golden Bot, I don't think I'm going to put another click into here, not at least for this event, just in case next event we're going to have some relics. But I did do my 1 click into the stones. I think I'm going to go ahead and do a 2nd click as well, because the first 2 clicks that you do here, you get a lot of gain versus your metals spent. Like spending 40 and then 65 metals to get 30 stones, that's a really good value. Going anything beyond that, I really wouldn't recommend it personally, but we should definitely have quantity 2 spotlight by next episode, if I had to guess. Last but not least, let's talk about the guild content. So we're still just kind of working on our summon chip. Our fetch, you can see this is the stats that I have on it right now, and this has been more than enough to make sure that I get all of the basically daily caps met. This has been kind of the golden standard for me. In terms of the summon chip, I'm really wanting to get the cooldown down to 100 seconds to match my fetch chip, but more importantly, I want to try to max out the duration. I think the duration is going to overall have a better value. In terms of the shop, I think we have enough to buy something, maybe not. We don't quite have enough to get these Guardian skins, so unfortunately we're just going to have to hold off for the meantime. But these 2 Guardian skins are going to be the next things that we purchase. And then after that, we'll probably purchase the relic here. We'll definitely try to purchase the scout chip, and then whatever's left over we'll spend on this stuff. All right, and that brings us to close to the end of the video. There's one more point I'd like to talk about, which is a more recent video that I posted kind of showcasing the future of this particular series. Again, I would really encourage you guys to go check out that video. I haven't quite come to a complete decision, but I will post the results of the poll on the screen right now for you guys to see. I will say, you guys made this very, very difficult for me. So In the Discord server, the poll I did currently has 176 votes, and 58% of the voting is in favor of stopping the beginner progress series and starting the new account series, versus 74 votes, which equals out to 42% in favor of continuing on with the beginner progress series. The YouTube poll is even closer of a margin than that. Out of 746 votes, 48% are in favor of continuing on with the beginner progress series versus 52% in favor of stopping the beginner progress series and starting some new account series. So this is putting me in quite the dilemma. We are very, very close to a straight up 50-50 tie. And I do appreciate all of you guys who voted for this. I think what I'm tentatively going to do is I'm just going to continue on with the beginner progress series, at least for a little bit longer. I read a bunch of the comments in the actual polls that I did, as well as just people talking to me on Discord, and it's going to take us a while to get there, but I think there is still a little bit of value to be had from this series. So I'm going to continue going probably until we get to Champions League. I think once we get to Champions League, that will really kind of solidify, hey, we're in Champions now. This is no longer a beginner series, you know? We're climbing the ranks. We're in Champions. We're one rank away from being in Legends, you know? So Champions already is pretty difficult to get to in general. So I think getting to Champions would be a good milestone to sort of seal the deal, put a stop to the series, and begin starting some new ventures that I'm excited about. That being said, I haven't decided if I'm going to try to go ahead and start some of these new account series that I'm thinking about. I haven't fully decided on that because it's one more thing to sort of pay attention to, but we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out in the end. But anyway, that's all I've got for this episode of the Beginner Progress series, but I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, huge shout out to all of you guys. Thank you so much for all of the support. And lastly, if you guys purchase anything for the tower in the web store or the in-game app, please consider using my content creator code. In the web store, you have to scroll all the way to the bottom to see it and input a code, but my code is code 300. And then, of course, in the actual in-game app itself, you just go to the settings wheel up in the top right, go down to the creator code section, and you input my creator code. My code is code 300. Just be aware that this code does expire after 30 days, so you just have to manually go in and re-input it. So what I've kind of just been telling people is anytime you make a purchase, just double check and see if the code is actually there before you check out. Huge shout out to all of you guys who have been using my code so far. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. That's going to be a wrap for today's video, but thank you guys so much for watching. And like always, I will see you guys later.